This video demonstrates the standard operating procedure with respect to the pipes apparatus in the Unit Operations Laboratory at Lafayette College. Before operating the pipes, it is important to be aware of the necessary safety precautions. Long hair should be tied back, and safety glasses, closed-toe shoes, and long pants must be worn at all times. Be aware of the potential slipping hazard when working with water. Rubber mats are present to prevent injury. To prevent any pressure buildup, ensure that water always has a direct path to the pump feed container. Before beginning the experiment, verify that the rotometer is properly calibrated. To learn how to calibrate the rotometer, refer to the pumps video on the LafayetteChBE YouTube channel. To start the procedure, open valve V148 to fill the feed tank to the yellow line. Then, close V148. Next, to allow water to have a clear path to the feed tank, open valves V153, V156, and V161. Then, close valves V151, V152, V155, V159, and V160. To avoid overflowing and damaging the rotometer, open valve V150 1/4 of the way. Finally, to turn on the pump, press the Start button on the centrifugal pump control panel. In order to determine the operating limits of any of the pressure gauges, valve V150 must be adjusted until a pressure gauge produces a reading. The flow rate and the pressure value should be recorded as the minimum operating value. Valve V150 should be increased until the pressure reading or the rotometer reading maxes out to determine the upper limit of the operating range. To operate the system and determine the pressure drop across the orifice, open valves V152 and V155, and close valves V151, V153, V156, V159, and V160. Next, to set the desired flow rate, adjust valve V150 very slowly to account for the sensitivity of the rotometer. In order to measure the pressure drop across the orifice, read the inlet and outlet pressure from the Dwyer instrument pressure gauges. Additionally, to measure the pressure count rate for the orifice meter, turn on the count meter located directly to the right of the orifice meter. Note that this meter reads in counts and not pressure units. Refer to the available calibration curve to relate counts to pressure drop. For the configuration including the straight pipe, elbows, gate valves, and globe valves, start by ensuring that valves V151, V157, V158, and V159 are open, and that valves V152, V153, V155, V156, and V160 are closed. Next, set the flow rate to the desired value using valve V150. Once the desired flow rate is set, measure the pressure drop corresponding to the particular portion of pipe that is being tested. If the corresponding pressure meters are not responding, tap them gently to allow them to respond. Pressure drop can be determined as a function of the openness of the gate valve and globe valve. To determine the amount of turns that corresponds to 100% open, close the valve all the way and then count how many turns it takes to open the valve. The openness can be adjusted to determine the effect on the pressure drop. To operate through the Venturi meter, start by opening valves V153 and V156. Next, close valves V151, V152, V155, V159, and V160. Set the flow rate to the desired value using valve V150. Measure the pressure drop using the Venturi pressure meter between valves V153 and V156. In order to shut down the apparatus under both normal and emergency conditions, first turn off the centrifugal pump by pressing the Stop button on the centrifugal pump control panel. Then, if necessary, drain the tank by opening valve V154, and drain the water in the pipes by opening valve V149. In the event of an emergency, contact the laboratory supervisor immediately. To learn more about the equipment in the Unit Operations Laboratory, watch the related videos on the LafayetteChBE YouTube channel.